It's me, Eric. I want to thank you all for coming out to our baby shower. I appreciate each and every one of you. I see Netta standing at the end of the aisle, looking like some kind of goddess. She had this white blouse thing on, and her hair was this puffy hair thing. She was just standing there, paused, and I'm like, oh, who's that girl?
I sat down, there was another guy that came and started talking my ear off. We ended up having some drinks and just being nice. I'm like, hey, like, I don't have a friend coming to meet me anyway, so I might as well just like have a conversation.
I look to the right, I see Netta just jetting across the dance floor. I'm like, oh, that's that girl I saw. And I ran up on her, and I grabbed her, I said, where you going?
And like I was all flustered at this moment because I'm like trying to run away from the guy like who went to the bathroom.
And she turned around and looked at me and said, I'm looking for Mr. C.
Like trying to play it off like, listen, I'm looking for a seat. I'm not looking for you or anything.
I said, oh, I forget about him. Wait, you looking for who? She said, I'm looking for Mr. C. I'm like, oh, she by herself. I'm like, want a drink? We met up at home again. I took her out to eat. And after that, we sat in the car listening to music.
It wasn't even like a guy that I was like, ooh, I need this man. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, I know for sure that this is going to be my best friend ever. Like, even if he's like, we have no intimate relationship or anything like that, like this will be my best friend.
We sat for a little while, listened to music. She fell asleep, and I didn't steal nothing out of Wild and anything.
We're in the car and we were listening to John Legend.
That song seemed like it baptized our souls together at that moment with that one John Legend song. And that's when she fell in love with me.
It was like the beat of it. Dun, 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 dun. And then he was just looking at me and I was looking at him. And I think both of our hearts were like melting slowly. And he will probably say like, oh, and that's when I fell in love with him. But I believe that's when he fell in love with me. Like I knew there was something there. He fell in love with me. So just in case he said that. After that, like I said, you know, we were just connected. You know, we were just talking all the time, and we ended up, you know, officially, like making it official. Like, yeah, I just want to be committed to you. And then voila, he ended up proposing. And I said yes. And now we're married. We started talking about kids. And it was interesting because I had observed him so much with his son, Eric Jr., and how amazing of a father he was and is. And I knew instantly that, oh my goodness, like this is the man I would want to have children with.
Netta informed me when we first met, not the first date, but when we first met, that she has a tumor, pituitary tumor,
which is essentially a brain tumor, and it regulates your hormones. And so, you know, I wouldn't get my period at certain times for a long time. And I remember even the doctor saying that it's going to be very challenging for you to get pregnant.
But when she first told me that, I knew at that moment that we will have a child. If you're my wife and we get married, God will give us a child.
But when Eric and I started talking about it, that was like the doubtful part. I was just, oh my gosh, he would be an amazing father, but oh my gosh, like I have, you know, some of these health conditions going on.
She would always bring that up, like that was a problem. She wanted to have children and this and that. When we got married, we started working on our children, and nothing was taking place, nothing, you know.
Going to the doctors and the doctor telling me your fallopian tube is blocked. I'm like, what?
And like it started working on my faith. I'm like, hey, wait a second.
My husband was telling me, Netta, keep the faith, keep the faith. Don't worry, we will have a child and we will have children. And yeah, I was listening to him, but at the same time, I'm like, let me just do IUI.
So I think we tried about 3 or 4 times. Netta would like wake me up. When it was time to go, she would wake me up, like throw the cup at me, tell me to go in the bathroom. I have to come out with the cup.
That's pretty much when they take they're taking the sperm and they're taking a catheter and they're inserting it in me and making sure that it like meets the egg.
And then we go to the doctor, process, and like it didn't work.
Then I was thinking of adopt. I was like, oh, I could always adopt later, but I knew in my heart that I really wanted just like to have my own child.
I felt in my heart like, I don't think we really need to do that. God will give us a child, even if it take about 7 years, Netta, you still got time, God will give us a child.
I gave my body a rest. We went on vacation, a family vacation to Jamaica and Cayman Islands.
Netta, her period wasn't coming, but that's normal for her because of the tumor.
So when my husband was pushing and persuading me to go and take a pregnancy test, I'm just like, it's not unlikely for me not to get my period.
I said, yeah, get it.
Get our groceries, we go back home. I still didn't believe anything, so I didn't even take the pregnancy test that night.
I went to sleep on the lounge up there, Netta was in the room.
I took it before I went to work, waited a little bit, went back into the bathroom, and I see like faded lines, so it wasn't that dark, but I was like, oh my gosh, like what does this mean? So I run upstairs and I start waking up my husband. I'm like, Eric.
So happy, like Eric. I'm like, what, Netta, what? She said, I took the pregnancy test and
you have to come see this. Like, I don't know what this means. I don't know if I'm pregnant or not. He runs downstairs immediately and he's looking at the pregnancy test and he's like,
okay, there's a faint line. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. Take another one.
Now these weren't dark lines. He was like, but you know what? To be sure, let's take another pregnancy test.
Wait a minute. If that line is faint and that line is faint, and if that line is supposed to say that you're pregnant, then you might be pregnant. So she did the other test, because it comes with 2, and that line showed more.
Comes out clear as day that I'm pregnant.
He comes, and what he does is, he never does this. He comes, he runs in the room, he wakes up, runs in the room, and he hops where Netta was laying in her spot, and he gets in a fetal position like a little baby. And we're like, yo, look at this. Like he just balls up like a little baby in her spot. Like, yeah, there's a baby in there,
And I'm still not believing it. I'm like, maybe something's happening, right? Like something magical is taking place. I'm not pregnant.
But we're still not sure.
We're both like, and he's like very, like throughout the process, he was the one who was saying, Netta, we're gonna have a baby, don't worry, keep the faith. But even in that moment, we're both like, is this really happening? So I called my doctor and she says, come on down.
As soon as we got there, they put that thing on her stomach.
And all of a sudden, she's like, there's your baby. And we're looking on the screen, there's an actual human in me.
The baby Taton was right there. 3 months pregnant.
And we're like, what?
3 months pregnant.
We were so happy, and all of a sudden I started feeling pregnant. I'm like, I'm pregnant, right? Like I wanted to shout it to the world and walk around like, I'm pregnant. No matter what you're going through in life, right? No matter what challenge or struggle you're going through, trust and believe in God, right? Because God has the power to bring promises to pass. And when you're praying to Him and you think, oh my gosh, this is not happening within that moment or on my own time, don't get hopeless or feel like, oh, it's never going to happen. God likes to surprise us, and that's exactly what He did with me.
Just thinking about Taton, like, look at this. Oh my goodness.
Throughout the process of me feeling pretty much hopeless, you know, in the pregnancy process, he was that main person saying, trust God. Have faith, Netta. It will happen. There was never one moment where he doubted if we were going to have a child or not.
I want to thank you for being my wife. I want to thank you for this experience that you have given me to like have a family on purpose.
Amen.
Have a baby on purpose. This is a whole other thing to want to have a baby. And I want to thank you.
Absolutely. Aww, I love you.
Thank you everyone for coming out tonight and watching our video, The Testimony of Taton. And
yeah, we're so happy and honored and blessed that you guys can be viewing this video with us this evening. All of you that were invited are truly special to us.
Yes, you are.
Thank you from the Jenkins family.
Good night.
Good night.